I'm Jim Simpson. I'm MD of Big Bear Records and Big Bear Music. We've been here since 1968. It's possible that we're the longest established independent record label in the UK. This is our 45th year. I guess it all started, Father came back from the Middle East and he opened his old record collection of 78s for me with Louis Armstrong. The first record he ever gave me was Louis Armstrong's Mahogany Old Stomp, and I bought my first record when I was 8 years old, and I formed a jazz club at school when I was 12. I played trumpet when I was 14, and I guess that set the die. I've not had a chance to get a real job ever since. In a way, I've never had a job. I started playing in public properly when I was in the Royal Air Force in Gibraltar. I had a jazz band there. I also did a weekly jazz radio show on Radio Gibraltar. When I came back to UK, I started playing in bands, and I started working in photography as well. And I sort of split my life between photography and music. When one went up, the other went down, and vice versa. And after I'd led this band for 12 years, we had a band called Locomotive. We had a hit with a song called Rudy's in Love. Came out in a very strange way. We recruited a new keyboard player who worked in a black music shop on Smelly High Street, which had this great music coming in from the West Indies. It was wonderful. And that's when I discovered called Rocksteady, which was a precursor to ska. We had this strange band that was playing Kansas City Swing and Rocksteady, and we accidentally had a hit record. There was a recurring theme in this record store, a mythical guy called Rudy, a sort of a bad Robin Hood, who went around robbing and gun shooting. And there seems of records all talking about Rudy. It was great. One record would pick up on a previous record's theme. They could have this continuing story. So we decided to make him a good guy. So we wrote the song called Rudy's in Love. Rudy was a good guy in our song, and we took Rudy's in Love to EMI, and we had a hit record with it. So the work increased, of course, and I had to stop playing and to concentrate on management. One of the problems with Big Bear has been that we have several different perceived personas out there. In Europe, everybody knows us as a blues label, but people out there think that we're a Polydor or a Parlophone because they see our blues stuff everywhere, much more so than in England. In America, we're known mainly out the punk stuff we did, and the ska and the reggae and the rocksteady, and here people perceive us as a jazz label, none of which is true. I guess being independent means you can release and record what actually takes you. In the 1980s, jazz is a very much a working class music. It came out of the pubs and the bars and the dyers of America's major industrial cities. And I thought that people were losing sight of what real jazz was. So I talked to people like Humphrey Lyttelton and Digby Fairweather and said I want to do one concert, just one concert, to demonstrate that good, hot jazz can still be loved. It's all there, it's excitement, improvisation. You need a superb technique to play it. It's got everything. So I rented the arena at Cannon Hill Park, and we got probably the 12 best British jazz players of their time. And it was wonderful. We sold out. 800 and something people paid to come and see it. So it did capture the imagination. And we got Sunday Times Album of the Year. And at the concert were some city councillors, and also a man who ran special projects for a brewery called Mitchells and Butlers. And they were, in those days, breweries were probably the biggest supporters of music. And a guy called Malcolm Powell, he said, I love the concert you did. I think the record's great. Would you consider doing a jazz festival? I said, well, I hadn't. So we had the meeting at what was then the Holiday Inn. And Stephen Carter, who ran the hotel, said, do it in July. I said, I'll be your opening venue. I said, okay. I put together a 6-day festival in about 8 venues. I think we had about 40 or 50 shows in 6 days, so it was fairly intense. A guy who worked for the city council said, hey, I hear you're doing a jazz festival. I said, yeah. He said, do you want some support? He said, I'll allocate £6,000. It was a fortune in those days. The open air concert was in 84. The first festival was in 85. In the intervening years, we've had most of the big names in jazz. The only time Miles Davis ever played in Birmingham was in the festival. One year we had, in a week, at the town hall, we had Clarence Gate and Nat Brown, one show. We had Spencer Davis Group, reformed. We had Buddy Guy and Junior Wells in their full Chicago band. That was at the town hall. In the same week, we had Cab Calloway and his orchestra at the Alexandra Theatre. We had 4 shows with the Blues Brothers Band, the one from the movie with Mac Guitar Murphy. And we had Miles Davis at the NEC. Last year, 2013, 211 shows, 10 days. It was a great festival. We played to 96,000 people, and the sun shone every day.